This is Chuck Schaefer, and I am joined by Kristen Emenecker of inContact. Kristen, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks, Chuck.
Kristen, I'd like to learn a little bit about inContact from a customer perspective.
Okay.
What's the profile of the ideal customer that can get the most value from cloud contact center software?
I think it's really the customer who is, or the organization who has a changing business, which many of us have, right? So who has fluctuations in the volume of calls that they take, or is in a growth trajectory, is looking for agility and speed in terms of coming up quickly, or has at-home agents, or is looking for visibility into operations that are across both contact center and maybe some outsourcers, maybe some at-home workers. Any of those particular types of companies could really benefit from being in the cloud.
Very good. What's the business opportunity your solution enables, or the business problem that your solution solves?
Well, I think there are probably three categories of problems that we solve. One would be just by being the nature of being in the cloud. One would be, if I was to categorize it, sort of the need for agility and flexibility and velocity in business. So there are lots of different levers within that category, but it could be things like fluctuating volumes, which we mentioned. It could be the need to have quick speed to market, to bring up a new center quickly, to be able to make changes on the fly, to your self-service options, or to the options that you provide to your customers, to the routing of your contact center operations. All of those things that talk about agility of business are the types of business problems that the cloud is really, really well suited to solve. That would be the first category. The second category of business problems that we solve would be around cost. So quite honestly, there are fiscal drivers still for cloud, and a lot of that has to do with what's traditionally discussed in the cloud circles, where I don't need to have all of my upfront sort of capital budget allocated toward my tools, toward my contact center infrastructure or other software and technology. I can move that to an operating budget so that, again, I can start to make money, or I can start to service my customers as I'm paying for it, and I'm really only paying for what I need. So there are some fiscal business drivers that also could really create a situation where the cloud is going to be the perfect solution. And then I would say the third sort of bucket of business drivers is around effectiveness, just around what it is that we need to do from a customer engagement standpoint. We're here at Dreamforce, and we're talking about the cloud, and one of the things that Salesforce has done such a good job in evangelizing is the fact that the cloud is uniquely situated to work well with other technologies and to integrate well, because it's sort of it's not taking an old, stodgy sort of premise technology and trying to move it into this century. We're really starting with technology that was birthed from the web, and so because of that, it plays really well with other web technologies. And so we have a number of customers who choose inContact because they really need something that's more effective, that allows them to integrate with their Salesforce really tightly, integrate with other applications, provide things to their customers they can't provide now, like virtual queuing and the ability to have a callback triggered on their website, or have a customer decide when they want to be called back. Just a lot of new technology that creates a more effective environment is available in the cloud, and available without sort of waiting for a whole long upgrade cycle.
How are contact centers using social tools to advance their services delivery?
Well, we've heard so much about social here at this event, right? So it's such a hot topic. I think that we really are in an age where customers are communicating with companies through many channels. And so we're still certainly seeing a lot of voice traffic, and we're still seeing some email traffic, and we're seeing that chat is very popular among our customer base. And so a lot of people are using our inContact chat, but we are seeing that consumers are choosing to tweet out when they have a problem. I do it myself, so I communicate with my airlines. I know that I'm a frequent flyer, and I know that they respond really quickly to my Twitter. So if I am having a problem, sometimes it's faster than calling their customer service. So the inContact customer base sees that, and I think it's compelling, and it's bringing us into this new age, and we've talked about it a lot here at Dreamforce, where there are many different types of work that an agent will do. And so the idea is to determine what are the skills for each particular agent that we have working, and then to be able to schedule their work and to route work based on their individual skill sets. And that work will be beyond just sort of calls and traditional ACD, right? It may be that they're going to work on social because they're really, skilled at communicating with customers in a social world, and so we can route tweets, or we can take an aggregator and route that in. We can look at calls, we can look at, again, emails and texts, and all of the different ways that we communicate, and really create that intelligent hub that is really night and day beyond the old traditional ACD. I think social is a very viable way of communicating for consumers, and I think it's something that contact centers, if they're not dealing with now, they need to be dealing with very quickly.
Kristen, where do you think we are in terms of customers crossing the chasm to mainstream cloud contact center adoption?
Oh, I think we're further than any of us thought we would be, quite honestly. Again, take a look around at Dreamforce, right? If you would have talked 10 years ago about the fact that CRM in the cloud would be this popular and this mainstream, I think there would have been a lot of skeptics. And in the contact center market, I can say, speaking for inContact, we are seeing a huge push, not even a push, a pull, I think, from enterprise customers looking to go to the cloud, and really pushing us to go up market in ways that we didn't expect to this quickly, I think, and it's an exciting time to be in the cloud. I think we're really seeing it become very mainstream, and just if I think back to the last 3 months, some very large operators in the contact center world and big well-known brands have been sending out RFPs looking specifically for cloud-based solutions. So it's an exciting time.
It definitely is. What advice would you offer a contact center leader evaluating contact center software solutions?
So I would say, there are some things that you need to do no matter what type of contact center solution you're looking for, right? So you need to understand the companies that you're evaluating. Are they trustworthy? Are they transparent? Are they publicly traded? Can you understand where they're at financially? Are they the leader in their marketplace? All of those things apply no matter what type of technology you're looking for. I think when you're talking about the cloud, you need to understand and ask questions specifically around security. That's a huge question for you, and you should be asking it, and you should be really pushing for your vendor to show you things, in terms of how active they are in that community and how they're protecting and securing your data. inContact is involved in setting standards, and we have a trust office, and we're really focused on security, and that's something we're proud of, but it's unfortunately not the case for everybody out there who's claiming to be in the cloud space, and it hurts all of us when there's a security issue, all of us who are in the cloud contact center space. So I would strongly encourage you to look at, and ask the tough questions around PCI certification and around security. Also redundancy, also their uptime, and are they willing to commit to that? Are they willing to write it into their service agreement? Do they commit and hold on to their commitment around uptime? Because that's huge when you're going to the cloud.
Very good. And with that advice, I think we're at a good break point to conclude our conversation. This is Chuck Schaefer, and I've been joined by Kristen Emenecker of inContact. Kristen, thank you for joining me today.
Great, thanks.